Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Indie Hangout Podcast. I am Neumatix. You may know me from my YouTube channel, and also I stream sometimes over on Twitch. You add another X at the end of my name, and you'll find me over there. I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Maz and Kronos.
How's it going? Name's Kronos. I stream on YouTube and Twitch. OSOKKronos.
What's going on, guys? Maz from Maztech Gaming, content creator over on YouTube and streamer over on Twitch and YouTube.
Nice. So today's topic is going to be a good one, I think. I think listeners are going to like this one. It's going to be about, well, it's always about indie games, but it's going to be more specific. It's going to be about the most popular indie games of all time, and maybe some indie games you didn't know were indie. I had a talking point, which was, what kind of indie games you guys wish you had played sooner, but I think that's a bit early to be asking that. I think we should jump right into what we think is, like, each of us to name off the most popular indie game of all time, or most popular indie games of all time.
Let me ask you this real quick. When we do something like that, though, are we talking about indie games? And I think I'm going to give this away right off the bat by asking this question, but is it an indie game that's still an indie game? Or is it an indie game that started as an indie game?
I think started as an indie game. I think that'd be a safe bet. It started as an indie game.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think if we're going to jump right into it, is that what we're doing? We're jumping right into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Has to be Minecraft, without a shadow of a doubt. Came out in 2009. I mean, it got popular in 2009. I think it actually came out in like 2007 in alpha and whatnot. But the thing is, it's a rags to riches story, right? It's a little voxel game that is way more intuitive than you would ever imagine. And I know that I kind of put it off. And when my kids were playing it, when it first came out, I'm like, that's stupid. Just playing the demo. That's stupid. And, my son is like, well, play it with me. And I'm like, this is the most amazing game I've ever played in my existence. And ended up buying it and just like immersing myself in it. And I think I like it more than my kids like it to this day. I really do. But I mean, I can't think of look at Stardew Valley, to what you're talking. You talk about that a lot. That's a very popular one, but I don't think there's any more popular of a game than Minecraft when it comes to like the most popular indie game of all time. I can't think of one that trumps Minecraft.
I don't know. I mean, what comes to mind for me is, I'm thinking more of this newer generation of gaming, and I gotta go with Roblox. I mean, that game is huge, and from what I can remember, I think it's like right up there with Minecraft in total number of players.
Yeah, I think those are, obviously, like, if you think big games, those two pop in your head right away. Minecraft is literally one of the biggest games in the world. I think comparing that in sales to any other game, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if I did, I'm pretty sure Minecraft would probably be the top game of all time. And then Roblox, close second, if not overpassing, because of how crazy it after it came out. And what's crazy too is, like, Minecraft was developed by one guy in his basement, because he was bored. He literally said it was just an off project he was working on, every now and then it turned into something greater. And then you have Roblox was created by two different guys, two developers that created that game. That's insane. That's insane how popular they are. And like comparing those games to some AAA titles, like they stand right up there with Call of Duty and all that. Now, yeah, Minecraft turned into where it's a AAA game technically now because it was bought out by Microsoft. I don't know if Roblox was bought out by anyone, or if the original guys are still the ones that are doing all the updated content to it.
So Roblox is publicly traded?
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's going to be a little bit different. It's RBLX is their ticker. And so to your point, Kronos, as well, and I don't mean to butt in Neumatix, but I do have those numbers that we're talking about.
Okay.
2022 alone, Minecraft's gross revenue was $365 million. There's been, hundreds of millions over time, but Roblox, their gross is $3.6 billion US. Billion.
And
my God.
Crazy part is Roblox is free to download. That's all from people buying stuff in the game.
All transactions, but the thing is,
Yeah.
you also have to understand that part of that $3.6 billion is from investors because it's publicly traded. So you could have the argument, right? So the ticker on that is RBLX. And so it's $58.88. That's what their ticker is as of today versus Microsoft's $385 per share. I mean, it's kind of either way you look at it, they're both beasts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Wow. You know, what's even better about this is that the way Roblox was created, right? You wouldn't think, like, looking at the game, you wouldn't think that a game like that would be as popular as it is. But you might think that as well with Minecraft, just because of how they look, but it's based on how they play, I think is why they did so well. But I also think it's really cool from Roblox is that they are based off of like all these little mini games, right? You start up Roblox and you pick all these little games you can play in there. And that's perfect for small indie developers that want to make a small little game inside Roblox and try and make some money off of it. Like it's almost like it's a win-win situation from the original developers that made it and then it turning into what it is now, helping other indie developers get their name out there. I think that's amazing. So cool. So cool of them to have that feature, or just not feature, but just the way the game works, you know?
Those little dev tools as well are really helpful when it comes to kids picking up a trade even as well. I know that my kids, they make their own levels on Roblox and they make their own characters and they get a cut of those profits too. So like with the Robux and whatnot. So it's really, I wish it was a little bit more secure. I don't think that they take security very seriously when it comes to, anti-bullying and stuff like that. And, my kids don't get bullied or anything like that, but you hear stories of cyberbullying and everything like that on Roblox. And
yeah,
that kind of concerns me a little bit, but you're going to have that when you get as big as Roblox is. So that's a really good point, Kronos, to bring that up as an indie game. It started out as an indie game. It's publicly traded. As far as I know, it hasn't changed hands, to your point, Neumatix. I think it's the same original developers and whatnot as well.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, the founder was Dave Baszucki. I don't want to butcher that, but the CEO of the company is still David Baszucki, from March 2004. So, I mean,
wow.
He's been a part of it from day one.
That's awesome.
That's crazy, too, is that Roblox released in 2006, actually 3 years before Minecraft.
Oh, wow.
I did not think it was that old of a game.
No. I mean, think about it. It didn't seem like it got into the public's eye until years after Minecraft was already popular.
Yeah, 2014 or 15 is when it really started to become popular, it seemed like. So.
What's crazy is that happens with sometimes with games. The game developer will release a game, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like 5 years later, the game blows up for no reason. Like all of a sudden, or maybe not no reason, but maybe it catches someone's eye. A big streamer streams it, and then everyone's on that,
Definitely. Hey, one more thought real quick. Mrs. Maztec just kind of tapped me on my shoulder here. I got to actually correct myself with the security thing. Apparently, under 13 now has a whole slew of parental controls on Roblox. So the parents have to turn on and turn off different permissions for kids under the age of 13 to be able to do things on Roblox and whatnot. So it's censorship or, age restrictions or anything like that. So I don't want to negatively represent Roblox without being fair on both sides. So I just didn't realize that they had really kind of cracked down on that security as much as I was just told.
That's awesome, dude. You bet it's probably because the guy who originally, that's even better, that the guy who originally created it is still with the game. He's still with development. So it's his baby, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to it. He wants everyone to enjoy it. And he doesn't want kids getting, like you said, cyberbullied or anything like that. So having that in place was probably a very important thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's really going to help because Roblox stock really suffered at first. And I think a lot of it had to do with controversy around things like that, the way that it was being managed and whatnot. So looks like it's kind of holding its own now, which is good. And it's not going anywhere. $3.6 billion. I mean, well, it's going up.
So back on the subject of, when it became kind of popular, January 2016, it had 4 million active users.
Wow. So it took from
February, yeah, like
2004, it was developed, right? And then
yeah, released in
26.
2006. So
Wow. 12 years later?
yeah, and then December 2016, it had from February to December in 2016, it went up 21 million players,
That's
Oh,
and
wild.
then every year since then, it's gone up 100 million to have a current of 428 million players
That's
active per month.
insane. Oh my god, that is wild. You know, and that is definitely to what you had mentioned it. Neumatix, the no reason, probably a big YouTuber for a while, especially around that 2016, 2017 time frame. It was two big things: Roblox and VR chat. During that time. And those games blew up on YouTube, especially with YouTube gaming being a big player back then. And really before Twitch became the juggernaut that it is.
yeah, I think you guys aren't going to guess it at all of the game that I was going to bring to the table. Let's see. Stardew Valley. Yeah, what do you know? One of the most popular
Really?
indie. Yeah, I know, right? Who would have thought? Stardew Valley, man. One of the most popular indie games of all time, I think, definitely. Doesn't really match up with Minecraft or Roblox to like that standard, but in all honesty, the success story from it of the one developer who still is developing on it, who still releases DLC content for it, his heart and soul is into that game, and for what it has become, it's insane. I think I told you guys before the amount of success that guy has had, and it took what 8 years to develop it. Finally got it out, and I'm sure he didn't even expect it to get as much traction as it did. It was just a matter of he wanted to make a game that was similar to his childhood favorites, Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon was one of his favorites, and he played many of the games. Some of them he liked, some of them he hated. And he even said, he's like, I just wanted to create a game that I loved from my childhood, but had all the cohesiveness of all the games that I liked. And that was it. And it paid off very well for him.
That's a good point. And I think, didn't you mention last week that he almost didn't move forward with it because he was afraid people were going to hate it?
Yeah, there's been many documentaries of it, and he's come out and talked in interviews and stuff about it. But nearing the end of his development, he thought about just not releasing it. He was like, you know what? You kind of get in that imposter syndrome. You kind of get in that, what am I doing with my life? If I release this and it doesn't work out, I've wasted 8 years of my life on this, even though it's my baby. And I wanted to, it's like that inner demon fighting with you that I think a lot of indie devs get. They don't feel like they're up to par. They don't feel like their games are as good as, others actually might see them. So it scares them, and they're like, you know what? It comes into this like, you know what? No, it's not good. I'm just not going to do it. And he got close to that because he had said he was going to release it, I think like 2 years prior to his like around year 6 of development. And he wasn't able to do it. And he put a blog up saying of all the reasons why, right? And then he ended up, I think it was a year prior to release, he was stating how he wanted to input multiplayer because that game has multiplayer in it. He was just going to release it without the multiplayer, and he was going to throw the multiplayer in later on and in like a DLC content pack, obviously for free, because he just wanted to get it. Like he was like at that breaking point. He's like, I just want to get it done. But he wasn't going to at first because he had talked to other developers, and the other developers were telling him, no, get it done first with everything and then release it. Well, he went against every other developer that he talked to and just released it instead, because it was eating at him. And he said that he's like, you know what? If I don't do it now, it's not going to happen. So, and I'm very glad he did, because like I said, I really like that game, and so do many other people.
See, I look at it the opposite way. I mean, if he doesn't publish that game, then I'm thinking to myself, what if? And that's what I'm thinking, as if I'm him, 8 years of my life down the drain. I didn't even give myself a chance. So, I mean, I'm glad that he did it, because I mean, it's extremely popular, like you said.
Yeah. It's weird too, because after reading about that and his blogs and stuff and all that, I myself, obviously, you guys know I've been working on a game in the background, and I've been working on it for, I don't know, maybe about a good solid 5 months, 5 or 6 months, if I'm, being true with the time I've allocated to it at night, and like excluding holidays and all that. But I could definitely see where he's coming from. Like at a certain point, I will probably be fighting with my demons too, being like, all right, are people even going to like this? Is it any good? You know, it's crazy to think like you're really putting your heart out on a platter for everyone to, you know, look at. And you're saying, please don't hurt it too much.
It's all right, brother. We'll be with you every step of the way on that one.
Yeah, well, we got you.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because, Bay even told me because I'm so worried about I don't have an art back. I'm sorry, getting a little off topic here, but kind of on topic, off topic, but like when it comes to like my game stuff, I am not very confident in my art skills. I don't come from an art background. I've been teaching myself how to do it, which is how a lot of these guys do it. I'm stronger in my coding and level designing and world design and animations. I'm still learning as well. So like I'm looking at my animations. I'm like, all right, I'm actually really happy with how things are going, except for my character art. And it's like, and then I'm fighting with myself with that and like probably spending, and this is what these other indie devs probably do as well, is they spend way too much time. Actually, I know that's what they do. They spend too much time reiterating, when in turn, if they just left it alone, it probably would have been just fine. Because I remember looking at a post from Concerned Ape when he was working on, like I said, that he was working on Stardew Valley in the beginning. And a lot of his artwork in the beginning wasn't bad. Definitely needed a little bit sprucing up. I mean, comparing from what he first had to what he has now. But in all honesty, if he would have released it maybe by year 4 of development, based on his old sketches and stuff and sprite art, I think it would have been just as good. I mean, all the mechanics are there. People would have loved it. But, you know, it's those inner demons that I'm sure a lot of indie devs fight with.
See, that'd be my biggest problem with like trying to make a game is because I don't know the coding side very well. Like I've never tried it, but I have the artistic side, so I would be constantly changing my designs like crazy. So I get what you're saying too.
Yeah, because you're my first iteration. I've already changed my tile sets 3 times since I've started development, and they went from like more of that 8-bit looking style to more, I don't know, I guess 16-bit. I don't know, just a little bit better, you know? So I don't know. It's, you know, I probably should just stop. And that's because it's only going to delay, you know, even more. But back on it, with these games, as popular as they are, I mean, what do we feel like got them so successful? We've already like skimmed over the top a little bit, right? With all these games, like, why do we feel they've gained so much success? And was it like the gameplay? Was it art, the story, like the mechanics based behind it? I'm sure each one of these games is successful in its own way and not all 3 the same.
So I haven't played Stardew Valley, but me personally, just hearing you talk about like how, you know, you have so much time in it, it shows that there's a lot to do in this game. So I'm just going to go off the fact of these games offer so much that you can do that you never really run out of stuff to like try.
So that open-endedness.
Yeah, like you know, it's not like a normal, so like, you know, Final Fantasy that you're playing now. It's kind of like once you beat the storyline, it doesn't, I don't know for sure, but you know, some games like that don't progress any farther. Like once you beat the story, that's it. The game's over. Whereas like Minecraft and Roblox and Stardew Valley, it seems like there's a lot that you can just constantly do, even if you complete main objectives. Just like Minecraft, you beat the Ender Dragon, you can still keep playing.
Yeah, that's a good point, because maybe it's not, as you can tell, Minecraft. Some people don't like Minecraft just because of the art style and all the, you know, the voxels and all that and the pixel art on the cubes and everything. It's not something that people, when they look at, go, oh, that's a great game. That some people are all about the art and they're like, oh, yeah, I don't know about that. Which I, for myself, have looked at. I'm very bad about that with a lot of games, that when I look at a game, sometimes I judge it right away and I go, I don't like that art style. I'm not going to play that. So Minecraft, surprisingly, it was never that way for me. And with the story of Minecraft, I don't think Minecraft's story, there's not a real story. It's just, all right, get to the Ender Dragon and kill it, right? And destroy it. And then whoop-de-doo, right? So I think it's just the creativity, the freedom you have with that game in order to kind of build whatever you want. And I think that plays along with Roblox, where that in Roblox, it's not just one game, it's many, many, many games. So that if you have a short attention span, it's not a big deal. Like, you just hop around. And honestly, from watching my nephew play, I'll be honest, I've never played Roblox. I've never played it. I've watched my nieces and nephews play it. I've watched my sister play it. I've never played it myself just because it is one of those games I'm looking at it. I'm like, those guys look like little Lego dudes. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. Nah, I'm going to skip. But man, these kids, they love it. And I'll see my nephew one time. I swear he hopped to like 50 different games when he was on. And I thought that open-endedness is definitely one of those, like, yeah, that's probably why it's as successful as it is. The creativity and the open-endedness to these games.
How many games is many, many, many games on Roblox, though?
How many games is many games on Roblox? I'm assuming, based off my limited knowledge, off of what I saw him go on, he went on Roblox and he'd pick amongst like a page of different games that he can go into. Now, the deep down gritty of it, I'm not for sure. But
40?
Whoa,
There are 40 million games on Roblox.
that's insane.
About 40 million. Give or take a couple hundred. But that's insane. 40 million games.
that's an endless game.
Always game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my stepson plays it, and I mean, I've seen him at times. Like they were being zookeepers in one of them. They had like a whole zoo. Him and his cousins were running around running. They were doing another one where it was cops and robbers. And then the other night I went in there and they were drag racing. And then next year I went back in there and they were playing this. It's called Rivals. It's literally like a 1v1 shooting game now. I'm like, there's so much stuff that they can do.
It's wild. And the thing is, let's look at Minecraft as well. Minecraft is also virtually endless. With you, by the way, Neumatix, I'm very aesthetically driven. If it doesn't look good, you're probably not going to get it. One of the best games I've ever played in my life is Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Oh, yeah.
It's the ugliest freaking game I've ever seen in my existence. It's just disgusting, but it's a really, really good game. And, shame on me for that. Minecraft is kind of the same way. Voxels, 8-bit, however you want to look at it. But it's so intuitive. Think about that. Think about how many trillions of blocks are in a map on Minecraft. And every time you move it, every time you build up on top of things, it remembers where every block belongs based on what you've done to terraform that whole map. That's a brilliant game, and it's virtually infinite. So you can just continue to build and alter it. I mean, that's entertaining. So much to do. To your point there, Kronos. The more the more things that you have to do, the more immersive the game gets, and the more hooked we get on it.
Yeah, the more like people keep coming back to try out new things, do different stuff. It's like it doesn't get stale.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think playing on that is the creativity behind it, because you could be one of those in Minecraft. You could be like the creative type, or you could be the more, better word for it, I don't know, like more mechanically inclined type, where like you're dealing with the redstone, trying to make things work together like electricity. And oh my God, the builds that come out of that are insane as well. It's just overall, that's probably, I mean, obviously why it's such one of the most popular indie games of all time that turned AAA is because of what it is to its core. I think Stardew Valley, it's pretty much endless, but it is also a what you make of it type of game. Because even the creator said, he goes, I wanted people to go in and do whatever they wanted. If you want to be the next winemaker, all you do is do wine. Like, you can do that. If you want to have just animals, barns all over the place, or chickens galore, that's all you want, chickens all over, you can do that. So there's a lot of freedom and creativity in terms of that on your farm. And in terms of story, I think that's the other part that gets Stardew such a good, one of these top tier games of all time is its story, because it drives the player forward. When they're bored of the creative things they could do in their farm, they can go out, which is what I did when I first started playing the game. I was like, all right, this is awesome. It's like Harvest Moon. I'm going to love this game. I'm going to plant all these things. All right, I got sprinklers. Cool. I got a barn. I got chickens and cows. This is cool. Oh, I'm starting to get bored. What else is there to do? Wait a second. I can befriend all the villagers, and over time, there's cutscenes with each one of them, depending on how many hearts with them, up to a maximum of 10 hearts. And then you have people that you can marry, bachelors and bachelorettes in the game. So there's a whole other aspect to it that I get from people wanting to come back to it, because it's not like when you play it and you marry someone, that's it, like, end of story. You could actually, quote unquote, divorce them and then go marry someone else to get what it's like with the other people of the town, which is kind of funny because I've seen some funny videos of people doing that. But I mean, there's no end to how many years you play out, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Hey, real quick, can we break here for one quick second?
Yeah.
I just dug in a little bit deeper, and it looks like Minecraft has done in lifetime $4.3 billion in revenue. Not
4.3.
Yeah, so that number that I told you at first was just in 2022.
Jesus, dude.
I dug in a little bit deeper. 2022,
Wait, so
it was at 360 million, I think I said. 365 million, but that was in 2022, with 100 million coming from overall revenue, 164 million from mobile revenue.
So, and Roblox is at what? I know it's publicly traded.
3.6 billion.
So Minecraft holds the crown.
Holds the crown currently. 4.3 billion versus 3.6 billion. And they're relatively the same age.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Roblox came out in 04, and they launched Minecraft in 2009.
So why do we think some of these games you guys have seen, like Among Us, Fall Guys, there's so many other games, indie games that have come out that have reached a superior level of popularity. And I think some of them, mostly if you look at them, a lot of them are multiplayer games. Do you think the rise and fall of them is because they're just like, they were just streamed by popular streamers or built up over on social media and it was like a rise and fall and that's it?
I think it kind of goes back to what Kronos was saying about Roblox and what we were talking about. 40 million different games that you can play in Roblox. What can you do with Fall Guys and what can you do with Among Us? What do you do in Among Us? You run around doing tasks and what? Trying to figure out who is the imposter, right?
Yeah.
If you do another round, what do? What else do you do?
Right. You do the same thing.
You rinse and repeat, right? I think there's only so many times you can do that and for it to be fun before you're like, you know what? Okay, enough. I kind of see the same thing for Repo. There's only so much you can do, and then it's like, okay, well, it's played itself out. Same thing with Fall Guys. What do you do in Fall Guys?
You race to the end.
Right. And then what do you do after that? You race to the end.
Yeah.
And how many tracks are there? It's a very finite amount. So I think when you look at things like Party Animals, you look at games like Fall Guys, you look at games like Among Us, those types of one-trick pony games. And I don't want to crap on these games because they all have their own accolades, right? But what can you do with that game other than what its primary function is? You don't have the variety there. You can't spice it up. It's not going to be different every time you turn it on. Like, I turn on Roblox, I turn on Minecraft. Well, what am I going to do today? I can create a building. I can build a house. I can build furniture. And you know what? Maybe tomorrow I'm going to go mine, or I'm going to build an underwater home, or I'm going to build an underground home, or I'm going to use, to what you were saying earlier, Redstone to make these unreal contraptions.
Yeah.
The ones that kind of rise and fall are the ones that they're one-trick ponies. It's like, I can only race so many times before I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. And that's the same thing. It's really, and that's kind of like how I am as well. I can't do repetition forever. And that's kind of why I get tired of like playing Minecraft. We talked about that last week too. It's like you play it, you play the crap out of it, you play it to death, and then you never want to see it again for 2 years. Then you come back and you play it again for 6 more months. It's because eventually you can cycle through so many things before you get tired of it. But after you've given it a rest, you can come back and it still feels kind of fresh because you can always do it differently the next time.
Yeah, I think it's where like updates and stuff for certain games come in handy too, is because like he was saying, like Fall Guys, like, yeah, you can only play that so much, but then it's like, okay, hey, it's a new map pack and they got new stuff in like new game modes and stuff. You'll come back and try that if you actually like the game, So it's like it's back on the whole content thing. It's just the amount of stuff in the game. So like if you had one of those games where they're constantly adding stuff, like say like, so Halo adds in new game modes and stuff like almost every week now, and it's actually starting to pick up popularity. So like if you had that, like, well, as Matt says, like that one trick pony, but they kept adding new content to it and changing stuff up, I could see them retaining popularity as long as it was still fresh stuff coming out.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more on that. That's exactly, you have to keep it fresh. And, that's why you're not going to see a lot of it. And maybe Neumatix, maybe it was, the flame was kindled by a big streamer, but it's popular with kids that love repetition. Now that's all it's been reduced to. If you ever see any types of videos or shorts or reels or whatever the hell you want to call them on any platform, it's usually kids that are playing that, or kids that are watching. My 13-year-old watches a bunch of Among Us shorts.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I would agree 100% with you guys, because all these games like Among Us, Fall Guys, the Backrooms. There was another one that I remember. There was a couple of streamers playing it. It was like you go in like with a video camera and there's something hunting.
Content warning.
Yeah, content warning. You've played that,
creative
haven't you?
videos. Yeah, I played it. Like, I mean, yeah, it definitely gets repetitive. I mean, they're fun, but I think so. Just kind of going on the same subject, I think one of the things that makes these games popular is like, content creators and streamers, and everybody sees them having fun, so they're like, hey, I want to try it out. So then more and more people constantly keep getting the game, and they'll stay popular for a while because a lot of these content creators, us included, we've all done it. We come up with ways to play that are different than the normal, just standard, A line. We're going to go B, C, D, try and do stuff differently, goof off, have fun. Everybody wants to be that person, like they want to try and have fun with the game. And then a lot of times they jump in, they play by themselves. They don't have that group of people. It's not as fun as what they think it is. It falls off.
Yeah. And I think to your point there, it's all coming together really well here, because right back to Roblox or even Minecraft with mods. So that brings a whole new level to Minecraft entirely, because then you have so much more you can do with Minecraft when you have modding. So, but when it comes to like Among Us, Content Warning, and all these games that are kind of one-off, they're amazing games, really good games. They're popular for a reason, right? They gain popularity for a reason, successful in their own right. But I think what it really comes down to is when these games get popularity, someone can go and recreate it in a mod for Minecraft, or they can recreate it as a game in Roblox. And what do many people do? They go back to their comfort games, the games they know really well, the games that they are most comfortable in. So they went from Among Us and they go, one of my friends says that Roblox just made a game just like Among Us. I'm going to go jump in that instead, and I think that's one of those things that is going to happen probably all the time, as long as Roblox stays relevant and stays popular, which I don't see it dropping anytime soon. I think all these one-off kind of games that show a really fun mechanic for people to play are going to be copied. And then you're going to see people go back to their comfort games to relive it in Minecraft through a mod, or Roblox through someone else making that game in there.
That's a good point.
Well, I think, it's safe to say that these games really have changed the landscape for gaming in their own rights. With Minecraft, with survival games. Look at how many games we talked about that spawned off of Minecraft that they tried to copy, right? There was like such popularity for Minecraft that all these other, game companies, whether indie, double, or whatever, were trying to make, whether it was on mobile or actually on PC, just to get a piece of the pie. And then you have all these other farming simulators that were created based off the popularity of Stardew Valley. Now, Roblox, that's kind of a class of its own, I think, to that point. But I'm sure Roblox has inspired other games to follow suit as well.
Yeah, I agree with that one, because like you get that one big game in like a certain area, and it's like you said, just everybody wants to be like that game. So it's just like you have so many that try to copy it, and then it's like when you get that one that branches off and tries something different but does it really well, that's where you get the next big thing from. And it's like, because like to me, Roblox and Minecraft, they're kind of the same game with the creativity and stuff. It's just like, Gmod. Gmod was a huge game, but they all gave that like creative ability, but they changed it up and did it in a different way, and that's what made them popular.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Gmod, dude. I've never played that either. I've never touched that one.
I never have either, but I've seen so many people do like thousands of different things in it, and I'm like, it's crazy.
There's another point that we brought up that Maz brought up earlier, is indie games being bought out, the individual properties bought out by AAA. And I'm curious if people would still consider them, like I think I would still consider it at its core an indie game, maybe improved on, right? And probably why it's even more successful, because there's more hands in it to make it better. But I'm curious on other people's views on that too. If they feel like maybe it's not as, because we've talked about how indie games, like, someone creates a game, like they put their heart and soul into that game, and then it gets bought, IP gets bought. I think like maybe it would only affect like hardcore fans of the developer, of being like, oh, it's not the same game anymore ever since so and so bought it. It's all corporate now, But maybe to the average gamer, they might not even really care.
Yeah, like, I mean, some people just kind of pay too much attention to the name behind like who owns the rights to the game. It's like you could have the exact same game like Minecraft. Minecraft hasn't changed how it plays. It still plays the same as it did on the 360. And, it's been, I guess bought out, and, it's what, a double A or triple A game now? If it's a triple A game now and it still plays the same as when it's an indie game, it doesn't matter whose name's attached to it. Now, if they took the game and made it play like Roblox did instead of how Minecraft did, yeah, okay, that'd be a problem. Because it's like, okay, look, this company bought it out and they changed the whole entire game,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think, and I can't really think of many games that have gone AAA that have really kind of gotten away from their roots. I agree 100% with Kronos. I mean, 360, playing Minecraft on the 360 back in the day, same feel.
Yeah, honestly.
Same feel today. I mean, they've improved on it.
No, I was just say, just bigger maps. That's literally all the difference is.
Bigger maps. And the thing is with, I mean, when it was first purchased by Minecraft, a lot of people were like, oh, there goes that game. I mean, when Minecraft was first purchased by Microsoft, people were like, well, there goes the neighborhood. That's it. They're going to ruin another game. I don't think they have. I think they've added. I'd like to see them slow down a little bit on things that they're adding. I mean, I haven't really played it, but I've seen people playing it lately, and they're like, look at this. It's got this. It's got that. It's like, where the hell did the squirrel come from? It's like, what? So, I mean, I think they're adding things really quickly, but I mean, they're not, I don't think that they're kind of getting away from the roots. There are other veins of revenue that they've put in for themselves, obviously, scenarios, different skin packs, mashups, sure. But, those are really cool, too. I love the city texture pack. That's like by far and away my favorite one. I use that more than I use the default one.
I agree with that one. That's the only one I play with.
It's the only one I'll use. I mean, I'll screw around with some other ones every once in a while, but it's always, okay, back to city. But it's refreshing to play the game after you haven't played it for a while. It's still fun. It still plays like the indie game was. It's smoother now, but it's got that. And I think maybe they even did a little bit of upgrading on the graphics and whatnot. But I mean, all they're doing is really putting lipstick on a pig, right? It's still an 8-bit voxel game, but I don't think it's lost its soul by any stretch.
All right, so now I want to ask you guys to name an indie game that people may not know is indie, or may not know started off indie, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of games out there that match the popularity, the sales of double AAA. And people playing them right now, they have no idea that they started indie, or they are still technically quote unquote indie games. You want me to go first?
If you want to.
Completely up to you guys. But I will knock your socks off with my answer.
Oh man, all right, I gotta save that, so I'll go first. So I'm gonna say a lot of people probably have no idea that this really popular survival game was started out as an indie game, which is DayZ. DayZ is a very, very popular survival game. A lot of people know it. A lot of people play it. I was tempted to buy it. I was tempted to play it, but I bought the Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth, and that drained my wallet. So I was like, you know what? I'll save it for a day that it goes on sale.
DayZ that it goes on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what you did there. That's a zinger. DayZ was actually created by a guy named Dean Hall, and he worked for a company, Bohemia Interactive Studio. He was starting on this project. He was working for Bohemia. He was working a game called Arma, which is another really popular game. He was actually creating DayZ. It wasn't called DayZ at the beginning. I don't even know what it was called, but it was going to be a mod. It was going to be a mod for Arma. but it turned into such like the scope just got bigger and bigger and bigger about it that he told a couple of his coworkers about it and then kind of pitched it to his work. And they're like, yeah, we love it. Let's do it. And it became its own thing. So he was head of development when it came to it and stayed head of development for a while until leaving. And ever since, the game's been like literally in a class of its own. A class of its own. So even though it wasn't intentional on becoming its own game, I do feel it is a very popular quote unquote indie game, mod turned game that a lot of people don't know started out that way. I mean, you got streamers. There's a guy I watch. He's really good. He's really good at storytelling. I mean, because if you watch a lot of people that stream that game, it's a lot of role play and it kind of drags you in. Like you don't expect it at first. And it's like, wait a second. This is crazy because of like the interactions you have with people, because it can be very far and few in between depending on the map you go on, but you just don't know what people are going to do. And like their quote unquote backstories, if they're a crazy person or whatever. And it's not even like you have that little bit of PvE interaction with the zombies in the beginning, but the where the fun comes in is when you run into random people and you create these random truces and like you team up. But the coolest thing about this game is what's got me super interested is that like you have to be very meticulous about everything. You have to be meticulous about how much you hold on you. You have to be meticulous about like you have to really think about, all right, I've teamed up with 3 people. Well, that's 3 mouths to feed and we can't take on a 4th. Because then there's not going to be enough food for all of us. So then one of us is going to have to be X-nayed off as soon as possible. There's so much like, dude, the depth. I think that's why I also love this game because even though I haven't played it, but I've really wanted to pull the trigger on it because I wanted to experience it, even though it doesn't look that great. It's so crazy. The game does not look good. It looks really old. And I obviously would love to see an updated version of it. I don't know if that will ever come, but I've also have a hard time finding any other game that is just as like or just in likeliness of this one because it's like down to the very the meaning of survival, right? As if you're out on your own, you're going like kill a chicken. Well, you just killed a chicken and you grab the meat with your bare hands. Now you got raw meat juices on your hands. Do you need to wash your hands off? You found a random water bottle. You need to dump the water out. You need to boil your water and put the water in it so you can drink it and not get sick. You have to worry about being too cold. Like all these crazy factors that are just heightened to the extreme that may be why more people watch it than they do play it is because it does require a lot of knowledge and it requires the hardcore gamer rather than the run-of-the-mill just regular gamer that's not really looking for that would jump in it and be like, why did I buy this game? So you got that factor in it too. But yeah, so DayZ, that is my pick and a super super great game.
That's a really good pick. It's also released December 13th 2013, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's grossed $827 million in its lifetime.
Wow. Getting to that bill mark.
But to go from potential mod to standalone game and then make just short of 90% of $1 billion in 12 years, 11 years, really. Incredible success story.
Can you imagine if he just was like, yeah, no, it's just going to stay a mod? If he was like, nah, it's not good enough to be its own standalone. I'm just going to work on it as a mod.
$0.4 million in net rev.
Yikes.
Scary.
Yeah.
I think I had talked over you, Kronos. I apologize.
Oh, no, you didn't. You're good. I was just agreeing with you. I was like,
okay, cool.
You want to go next?
No, you go next, brother.
All right. So, personally, I'm also basing this off the fact that I didn't know it was an indie game, too. But I'm going with Rust. Like, the game just seemed like it was really big and stuff. Like, like large scale, playing with a bunch of people online, like full servers and stuff. I thought it was, honestly made by a big development studio. Come to find out, it was actually made by Gary Newman, who also made Gmod. So, I mean...
No way!
Yeah. It's made by Face Punch Studios, and Gary owns the whole thing.
Wow.
It's Gary's mod.
Yeah. That's insane, dude. I didn't know that either.
I didn't, I was like, when you gave us the subject, I was like, looked it up, and I'm like, oh, man. I was like, that's the same guy that made Gmod. Like, that's crazy. And it's like I said, the Rust to me just never seemed like it was an indie game because it was just so big. Like, the stuff that happened in the game and like all the stuff you could do. Because I'm new to figuring out what actually is indie games. I will honestly admit that. So to me, like Minecraft, when it first came out, I was like, okay, it's just if I had played Minecraft, in the more recent years instead of back when it first came out, I would have never thought it was an indie game. Because it's just how big it is. Like, to me, I didn't see it as that type of game. Back then, though, playing it originally, the little map where, where you had the barricade where you couldn't go any farther.
You think of, like, how technology has advanced to where back then that was, like, just as good, as many other AAA games. So to your defense there, yeah, absolutely. Looking back, you would have not known the difference.
Which is crazy. Released February 2018. Kronos. What's the gross revenue on it?
I don't even know. It's probably pretty crazy.
New?
No clue. Although I have played the game and it was a lot of fun. I will say that. But numbers, no clue.
1.86 billion since 2018.
That game?
That is
wow. It did better than DayZ? Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Did better than DayZ and it's doing better than mine.
So what you got for us, Maz?
All right. So this is in my top 5, honestly. Dude, I've been playing games since I was 5 years old. It's a long time. I'm not ready to divulge my age here on the podcast, but
scary when you think about it.
Been a hot minute. All right. This is in my top 5 of games I've played all time. No Man's Sky is put out by a company called Hello Games. It is developed and published by Hello Games. A lot of people don't realize that is actually an indie game and not a AAA game. It plays like a AAA game. It's very, very stable. It's constantly updated. It's an amazing game. I don't know if you guys have played it before. Have you guys played it before?
I love it. I love that game.
Personally have not.
You are missing out, Kronos. You need to play it.
It's not a game. I can't emphasize this enough. That game is an experience. It is not just a game. It is an experience.
Dude, and what an amazing way to turn it around from what it was to what it is now. I mean, it was good, but the backlash they got for what they said was going to be in it and then wasn't. But then they capitalized on it and said, all right, we're going to make this right. And they did. Dude, as much as, I don't know. That's another game that I constantly go back to. It's another Minecraft itch for me, the No Man's Sky itch, where enough people talk about it. I'm like, I need to play it again.
It's unbelievable. And that's really, when I, on my YouTube channel, I put in, they didn't have good guides on how to do things. So I was like, I needed to get cadmium. I needed to be able to find that so I could build things for my ship and whatnot. And I ended up doing a video because I was going on to YouTube looking on how to do it. And it was a bunch of people being like, oh, well, this is my experience with the game. I don't care. Where's my goddamn cadmium? And so I did a video. Once I figured it out, I did a video to show people how to get it. Got 180, I think it's up to 186,000 views. And then I've done some other ones like how to make money really fast in it and whatnot. But the thing is, it's like the Minecraft itch. It's just such an immersive experience because you discover, different types of animals, different types of wildlife. Some of them are aggressive. Some of them aren't. Some planets are hospitable. Some of them are extreme, or they're acid planets, or they're fire planets, or extreme wind. But you will never find the same planet again in a different game. There's literally, I can't remember. I got to look it up here super quick. No Man's Sky.
I think I remember seeing somewhere about this game that it was like the worlds are also generated too. They're not the exact same every time.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And so it's actually, I had to look it up real quick. It generates 18 quintillion planets in that game. You can have 18 quintillion planets in your game. But the nice thing is, the reason why, that's not sustainable. There's no computer in the world that can handle 18 quintillion planets. The nice thing is it generates as you go to different areas, which is really cool. But is 18 quintillion possibilities with different types of wildlife, different types of conditions. And that's scary. And this is an indie game. We've got an indie developer that created planets, so that created a game where planets can be randomly generated 18 quintillion times over. And you're right, but the only thing that you were not right about, New, is that when it came out, it was not good. It promised a lot of things and delivered zero. It was empty, empty, empty. But what you are correct about is they turned it around, bro. They did the same thing that Final Fantasy XIV did. I don't know if you knew about that as well. Complete dog crap. Nobody liked Final Fantasy XIV when it came out. They shut the server down. They redid it. They put in a storyline, a better storyline. They updated the graphics. They updated the mechanics of the battle mechanics, and re-released it as Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn, and it's been an amazing success story since. That's why it's called, the first chapter is called A Realm Reborn, because they had to start over. And that's exactly what Hello Games did. They say, hey, look, give us a chance. We're going to make this right. And that's exactly what they did. They've improved it. They've increased the graphics. And they actually had this, I think it was called either the Next or the, I can't remember if it was the Next or the Beyond. I think it was the Next update. The Next update was like, okay, after the next update, we're done. They're still updating it now. I mean, it just gets better and better, and it's free. Like the upgrade, like the content upgrades, they've never charged a dime for it. Never.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. That the fact that they're like, it's like a surprise. Like, yeah, we're done developing, so everyone's like, all right, cool, moving
Absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
And then they come back with a banger.
Yeah, it is one of the best games. It is in my top 5. It was released August of 2016, and it has grossed $700 million.
Wow.
And you can get it on CD keys for $18.29 right now instead of $60.
Holy crap. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. 3 solid games. I should have known. That was the one you're going to.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? What an amazing game. And that's going to be I'm going to be streaming that once my internet gets better. It can't handle it. It can't handle the internet because like the way that it travels and everything like that, it would just blow up my bit rate. Screw everything. But I can't wait to play it again. Damn, it is such an experience. Like, I'm getting excited thinking about the game. But don't worry, man. Not that kind of excited.
I mean, yeah, how excited are we talking? All right, on that point, I think we'll go ahead and get to a break real quick. And when we get back, we're going to talk up some hot takes. We're going to get over to our poll question that we sent out to you guys over on X. And we'll get to the question of the pod after this. Do you want to be a part of the next episode and steal the spotlight? Then send us your questions for the pod via dropping them in our Discord server or shooting us an email over at indiehangoutcast@gmail.com. The best ones get featured on the show, whether they be short and sweet or long and comprised of multiple questions. Even send us over some hot takes to really get the conversation fired up, and your question just may get featured in the next episode. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Indie Hangout podcast. So on the next topic of discussion, we're coming at you with hot takes. Let's see, what is a popular indie game you feel is overrated? Now, we're not going to be bashing any games. They're all good in their own right. Just because we don't like them doesn't mean that we're saying you shouldn't like them either. Feel free, play whatever you want. We don't care. But this is how we feel, and we're going to go through it right now. So let's see. Kronos, what is a game you feel is overrated?
Oh, man, people ain't going to be happy. Rocket League. I feel that game. Is so hyped up. And just, it's so, like, I don't know. It just, every time I've played it, it's just like, I'm like, how can anybody sit here and play this game? It just, that is my personal opinion. I have no connection or fun in that game.
On that with you. So let me ask you, what do you do in Rocket League?
You drive around as a car and hit a ball.
Right. And then after that, when you do another match, how does it change?
It's the same thing.
It's a one-trick pony. It's rinse and repeat, right? So what is it that makes that stand out from the games that have quelled over time for the same reason?
I can't tell you, man, because I don't know. I don't see what keeps people playing it. I do not.
Yeah, I can't answer that either.
But yet it's popular. It's a lot of people playing it. I don't know why.
Well, I think a lot of it is attributed to its viewability, like esports, right? The other games that we were talking about earlier, they don't have that kind of coverage. They don't have the right influencers backing it, so to speak. And I think that's the only thing that's keeping it alive is influencers.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But I agree with you.
I don't really like that. I can't, dude. There's a buddy of mine, another streamer. I won't say who, but he loved to play and stream that game, and he tried getting me into it. But I didn't have the heart to tell him. I just didn't care for it at all. So you're not alone on this boat. Yeah, I don't think the hype is all of what it is for that game. I first time I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is just a fun little game, huh? A car hitting around a soccer ball.
Yeah.
Okay,
Giant soccer ball.
a giant soccer. Okay. All right,
Well, like,
yeah.
one of the guys I stream with, he's always late joining us because he's got Rocket League practice.
I'm
like,
what?
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but
I'm like, how is this game that serious that you have Rocket League practice? Like, dude. Yeah, so it's just, that is my choice for this one.
Sorry I'm late, guys. Practice ran late.
That's what he says, too. My coach held me over a couple extra minutes. I'm like,
I had to drive laps.
oh my God, he's got a coach.
yes, yeah. He pays somebody to teach him how to play Rocket League.
Oh, why? I'm not trying to bash. It's everyone to each their own. To each their own.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's how is that game so overrated that people are paying coaches teach me how to play? Like,
I guess Rocket League has in-game competitive tournaments. Oh, if that's what he's going for, if you're trying to get ranked or something, I don't know. I mean, I just don't see it as, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't see that game as like a Call of Duty tournament or even like, those old Halo tournaments. Not something, Rocket League's not a tournament thing I would watch.
So, I mean, one thing that definitely keeps it popular, I don't know if you guys are, and I'm not kidding about this. Have you heard of the Rocket League Championship Series?
yeah, they
No.
have esports and tournaments and everything.
Yeah. I mean, so every year they compete for $1 million in prizes. I mean, if they're the world champions, they make $1 million. So that's a really good incentive to keep that popular, right?
Well-
Play a video game, win $1 million. That's pretty crazy.
That's
Yeah.
That's obviously, I mean, there's enough people that love that game, and that's why, I mean, if not enough people love the game to do that, there wouldn't be that kind of pool of money for it,
Right.
Yeah, 2024 Rocket League Championship Series prize pool was 1.165 million.
God damn.
Dude, if I ever won that, I would walk around all year long with like a WWE championship belt over my shoulder everywhere I went. But it would have a car on the front
Yeah,
plate.
I'd say I just do a Rocket League car like dead center of it or something. Just,
Exactly. And I'd have like
I'll walk around with a
sunglasses.
hat shaped like the car from Rocket League or something.
Right, and I would actually wear sunglasses indoors, guys.
Just because.
Man.
I mean, now we're talking the crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh my God.
I mean, who wears sunglasses indoors unless they're a Rocket League champion?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course. That's the only way.
It goes without saying.
Okay, I'm guilty of that one though.
Well,
So technically at work, we're supposed to wear safety glasses. I bought the sunglass safety glasses, so technically I wear them indoors at work. So
But they're
I'm
still
walking
safety
around this-
glasses, so you're safe.
yeah, but I'm walking around the shop all day with sunglasses on pretty much.
Just missing the championship belt then, bro.
Yeah.
Go get your million. Go get your million. Make that happen in 25, bro. Get a coach. And start now.
So what about you? So what about you, Maz? What's the game you think's overrated?
I'm about to piss Neumatix off something fierce.
uh-oh.
It's
Here we go.
Stardew Valley, bro. It is Stardew Valley. And I don't know what it is. And I think
My heart.
maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. And I think I said that in our last podcast as well. It didn't hold my interest. I'm a big fan of 8-bit. I like the retro look. Do you think that's 8-bit or is that more 16-bit? I think that's more 16-bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah. But it wasn't enough to keep me, and maybe I need to play it again, but it didn't hold my interest for very long. And I'm not crapping on the game. I'm thinking that maybe I just didn't play it enough. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of a precursor as well. First time I played Fallout 3, I hated it. I hated it so much that I shelved it for a year.
God damn.
And when I got hurt. I hurt my knee in 2012. I played Skyrim. That's how I fell in love with Skyrim. And then when I was done with that, it was Bethesda. I was like, okay, well, Fallout's Bethesda. Let's try that other Fallout 3 game. And it was one of the. It's to this day, it's in my top 5. Fallout 3. So maybe I just haven't given Stardew Valley enough of a chance. I kind of like to go. I kind of go against hype and trends as well. Everybody seems to be doing that, much like. When the Fallout series came out on Amazon, all the big streamers picked up Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 again to grab the views, snap up the views and everything like that. I'm not into that kind of thing, and I kind of feel like a lot of the streamers, the big streamers, really kind of hung on to Stardew Valley for a little bit, and that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth in terms of, like, it just seems too hypey, and that could have played a role in it as well. When I played it, it just didn't really suit me. But in listening to you, Neumatix, talk about how many hundreds of hours you have in it, and that's your Stream Deck game, and that's your go-to comfort cozy game. Maybe I've never really gotten into cozy games as much as I probably could have. But you talking about it and speaking about it in such a good light, it makes me want to give it another shot. But I do, at this point, feel that it's overrated. And I don't think it's because of graphics. Maybe it's the genre. I do know that why fans love the game. It envelops everything. Kind of inspired by Sailor Moon. It's got fishing. It's got hanging out. It's got farming. It's the whole deal in terms of just a chill game and whatnot. But not really for me, I don't think. But I'm definitely open to giving it another shot. And now I'll never talk to Neumatix again, or he'll never talk to me again.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy I'm talking to right now? After Bay just brought me back with a defibrillator as my mic was muted, I died for a minute. Mess broke me. How dare you? No, I understand 100% because I get on these things of games that have tons of hype behind them, and I'm the very same way. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's like some trigger in my head in my brain that goes, no, it's not that good, so I'm not going to play it. It's so stupid. It's probably a great game, whatever game it is that has that much hype, but my brain just says, nah, you're not going to play that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. And then, it's like, like as many games are, it's not for everyone, dude. I played Harvest Moon games growing up, so when this game came out, it resonated with me. Whereas if someone who never really got into those kind of farming simulator games, it's probably not going to do the same thing for them,
Agreed.
But after that, all right, back together. Valheim is my pick. Valheim. Now, it may not be as popular as the games you guys have talked about, but I think it is a contender. And I may make some people mad as well. It's a great game in its own right, but I think it's overhyped. It had its moment, and it's still going on. It was developed by a team of 5 people. It's gained over 200 million in sales. So by all means, a very successful game in its own right. But I just could not get into it. I had a coworker of mine that played that game. He would talk to me about it, saying like how great it was playing solo, playing on his own server. He would have game night with his buds on Sunday nights where they all get on the server and just kill some stuff and build their base out. I've watched some streamers, like, it's one of those things that like I when looking at a game, like really debating, I'm like, all right, am I really going to like this? And I'll read through like reviews or whatever. And like last case scenario, like I'll look at like gameplay, and it's one of those, like, so I downloaded it. I think maybe it was on Game Pass. I don't think I bought it. Maybe I did buy it. Maybe I did. I think I did. So I bought it, and I think I played it. Maybe I tried to play it for like an hour. And then I really, this is the thing too. I gave it a chance. I really did. I gave it another 2 days after that where I tried and I couldn't get into it. It was so weird. Like the way you're just thrown out there. You have no idea what you're doing. And I scrolled in on the actual character and it looked all grainy and nasty. I'm like, what is this? And I scroll out the camera out and then it looks good. And I'm like, okay, I could live with that. Fine. But like, I don't know. It just wasn't that. It was not my cup of tea. Couldn't do it. Have you guys played that one?
Yeah, very briefly.
I've seen it, but never played it.
Yeah, I played it briefly. I didn't like it for the same reasons you just mentioned. The exact same reasons. It's just not. No, it could have been. I feel like it could have been a better game too.
Yeah. And that, dude, it's crazy because, like, you say it, and it's like the game did 200 million in sales. It's pretty damn good, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't hit all the bells for me. It's not, like I said, I do that with every game that I play. That even when I get off my brain trigger of like it's too popular, don't play it, then I play it and I give it a chance. Like I said, if I'm not thinking about that game the next day, I'm probably not going to play it again.
I love that. I was talking to somebody about it during the week about what you had said, because you said that last week as well.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. Like now, like since we talked about it, I've been thinking about No Man's Sky. I'll be thinking about that tomorrow. But I mean, it's like, yeah, if you're thinking about them, then you know it's a game for you. If you don't think about it again, like, and you know, and I'm not trying to put salt in a wound, new.
Oh.
When I stopped playing Stardew Valley, I wasn't thinking about Stardew Valley on the next day, you know. But it's and I'm not trashing the game. I mean, and I respect the hell out of the game. We know the story, the backstory of it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just sometimes it's not, you know, some games just, no game is for everybody. But I will say that I wasn't thinking about it, and I haven't really touched it, save for one or two times. But I'm really excited to play the ones that I'm thinking about, kind of like what you're talking about here.
Oh, yeah. Cool. About covers it. So please don't hate us, everyone. Like I said, to each their own. If you love the game, you'll love the game. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, right? And, you know, each game hits everyone in a different way. So just like how Maz just, you know, killed me off over here. It's fine. I'll heal and we'll move on.
Well, I'm not looking forward to the berating I'm going to get after we're done recording.
Oh, man, it's going to be bad, dude. All the Stardew Valley fangirls, fanboys, they're going to come at you.
I'm more worried about you berating me.
Oh, yeah, right after. Random Discords. Hey.
Right into it. Right. We need to talk.
Day 2 of trying to convince Maz to play Stardew Valley.
Love it. I may have to do it. I think I could be talked into it. New. I own it. It's a click away.
Hey, you know what? And if you give it another chance and you still don't like it, then maybe it's a you problem. I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, onward and upward. What do we have next? A poll. Poll answers from our question over on X. So we posted a poll over on X under indie_hangout, and we asked you guys, how do you decide on buying a game you're on the fence about? The choices you had were reading reviews. You go off of maybe word by mouth by a friend who recommends it, watching streams of that game that you're on the trigger finger of buying, or you wait for a sale because maybe it's not that important, but if it's the right price, maybe you'll pull the trigger on it. What did you pick, Maz?
You know, it's really two answers for me, but I did choose word of mouth / friend. People like you, some of my buddies, OSOKKronos, my buddies, you know, over on my Discord and in my community and whatnot. Some of them that, you know, that know their gaming stuff a lot like you guys say, hey, you know what, you got to try this game. I'm more apt to try it. If I read reviews or whatnot, I mean, I can't tell you how many movie reviews I've read or listened to, and I watch it anyway, and I'm like, what the hell are these guys talking about? This movie's fine, or this movie's great. You always notice that, like with Rotten Tomatoes as well. You know, the Rotten Tomato meter is like 46, but the audience is like 86%. Well, I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah,
so
I did
true.
go with, I went with the word of mouth, but I also wait for a sale at the same time. It's like, okay, you guys are going to tell me you got to try this game. Well, guess what? I ain't paying no $80 for it. I'm waiting for it to, you know, be that, you know, on sale for $20. We'll use CD keys, or a way to get it at a discounted rate, or Xbox Game Pass, which is one of the best things since sliced bread, because you pay $15 a month and you can play games on release day and like, hey, you know what? This game sucks. I'm so glad I didn't waste $80 on it. I mean, there are ways to get your hands on these games for pennies on the dollar nowadays to make sure that you like it. And if you're in love with it, buy it. But I did go with word of mouth and wait for a sale. But I will take the recommendation before I wait for the sale.
Nice.
So I selected watching streams. That's my biggest way of seeing about new games. And honestly, like, I'll be a little behind the curve. Like, you know, like the game will be out for a little bit, and then I'll see somebody like that I'll watch on YouTube or something playing it, and I'm like, okay, this looks really fun. Like, I'm going to give it a shot. And it's just kind of like, I always try to base it off of other people having fun because, I mean, we're all gamers, we're all like minded. So it's like, if this person that, plays the same way I do and kind of has fun the same way I do really enjoys it, then I might enjoy it too. If they don't like it, then it's like, okay, that's probably not going to be for me either.
Yeah, you make a good point.
What
So,
about you, New?
so I picked, which, reading afterwards, I'm like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have picked that one because that's not true. It is kind of true. So I picked reading reviews. Now, when it comes to a game that I'm, like I said, I'm on the fence about, I'm like, I don't know, kind of like Daisy. Daisy's that way for me. I went and read through the reviews first. I did. But as you pointed out, Maz, that makes such a good point of like, there's so many movies that I've watched. Like this is, obviously movies, but yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes like index is like off the scale for how bad the movie is supposed to be. I'll watch it and I'm like, I love this movie. What the hell's everyone talking about? This is great. And I think that same can be said for some games.
Oh, absolutely.
So in reality, yeah, I do look at the reviews first, but I don't really I'll read through them. Like really in reviews, I look on the Steam page and I look at what is it? Is it at positive? Is it overwhelmingly positive? Is it negative? Like if you go on the game and it automatically, if it says mixed, then it makes me weary. Then I go and I scroll through like vigorously through the reviews, like, oh my God, like why are there mixed reviews, But really, it's kind of the same with UMass, like word of mouth. I think I should have picked that one because it really is more of that, where I don't really go outside the scope of a lot of games I play anyways. And the reason I usually do is because a lot of my friends, like you guys, are playing new games. Like the only reason I got Repo was because of you, Kronos, because I saw you streaming it. It looked like a lot of fun. You asked me to join. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, and I love the game. It's so good. So it was a happy buy, Getting to that point, I think everyone else would agree with that because drumroll, the winner of it was Word of Mouth, my friend, with a 40%. It was kind of like even throughout. It was literally like each person picked one other thing. And then Word of Mouth got, at the very end of the poll, got the winner of it with over 40% of the votes going towards it. So I think that's pretty common. I think that would be pretty common. I think, though, in all honesty, it's probably a good mix when it comes down to it. If you're really, really on the fence about something, I think I've done each and every single one of these, except for Wait for a Sale. The sale's kind of like, I don't really care. If I've read reviews and they're good, if I've been told by friends and then I watch a couple streams, the only reason I'm iffy about streams is because if it's like a story-driven game, I don't want to get spoiled. I don't want. Yeah. So I'll be wary. That's the wary one. But other than that, yeah, I do a mix of them.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. There's no game in the world that's for everybody. And so I think that reviews, as nice as it is to kind of hear what people's takes are on and whatnot, I don't think that is ever going to fit you personally. I don't think that's ever going to fit me personally. It's really more about what we're looking for in a game, where these reviews could be like, hey, this is good, but this is not very good. And maybe I don't care about that. Maybe what you think is great, I think sucks. Right. So it's you have to experience it yourself. And like I was saying, I'm about the word of mouth. I mean, if you say, try Stardew Valley again, I'm going to try it again. I don't want to pay top dollar for it. If I'm talking AAA, is what I'm saying. I don't want to pay. I'm not going to pay $80 for a game that I'm on the fence about. But like I also said, there are different ways to find a discounted rate. You could use Game Pass and use it through, download it through Xbox, and there's a lot of games that you can do that with. And some people would be super happy that they got to play it for $15 a month. And some people would be grateful that they didn't pay $80 a month because they didn't like it. So
yeah, but nothing worse than buying a game at full price and regretting it.
Absolutely. That's the nice thing about Steam, is that you do have 2 hours of gameplay. You can play up to 2 hours and return it if you don't like it. The only problem is sometimes these games don't get really good until about 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in.
Yeah, so true, man.
Or you'll spend time, like trying to figure out the game and seeing if you're liking it. Next thing you're like 3 hours on a playthrough, and it's like, oh, well, got this one for good now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm stuck with it. blew $15 on a game and I haven't played it but once.
Yeah, that's what I did on Teardown.
I did that too with the game.
I was like playing and playing because like the missions, you got to figure out how to do different things. And I think I spent probably like almost 2 hours on one mission trying to figure it out. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to go get a refund. I was like, this game's dumb. Nope. I've been playing for like 3.5 hours. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's almost like they do it on purpose. I don't know if they do. They could, but hopefully not.
I hope not.
Cool. Well, I think we got one last thing to go over, and that would be our email questions, which might turn into something else. I don't know if we're going to be calling it email questions anymore. We'll eventually have these questions coming through over on Discord.
When you guys are mailbag.
Listening. Mailbag. I like that.
Yeah, I would just call it a mailbag. It could be an email. It could be a Discord message. It could be. You could even write a letter to us if you could figure out our addresses.
I'll give you a PO box. You send me a letter. I will be ecstatic to read that off, no matter what it says.
Nice. You might want to be careful with that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wait. This one's kind of bad. It accidentally fell in the fire.
Right.
All right.
He's going to come in here singing Blues Clues. Like, we just got a letter.
My God.
Do it.
I will. Absolutely. Dude, I will. Oh,
Wonder
man.
who it's from.
So we have a question from a follower of mine that goes by Jay Boyd. They asked, in the current state of affairs of the gaming, why are indie games gaining so much popularity compared to AAA?
It's a great question.
So, Jay Boyd, thank you for the question. And lead off with who wants to take a stab at this one?
Already know it. I mean, there are a couple different facets that cause it. These people that are creating indie games, for the most part, solo developers like Neumatix, down to earth, a person. It's not part of the machine, right? Not part of a corporation that's just, one cog in the machine. This is a person that is putting their blood, sweat, tears, their passion into their project because they love the game. Now, I know that you have no expectation on financial return for what you're doing. You're doing it because you love games.
Oh, yeah.
And you want your dreams to come out into reality and people to experience your hard work. And that's a little bit, that changes the look and feel of games. We talked about Minecraft. It was brought from you had, what was his name? Mark Pearson, Notch. Goes from being a solo indie developer to billionaire because he sold it to Microsoft. They turned it into a AAA game. And the one thing that Microsoft really did right was not kill that spirit of that indie feel. And so I think those games feel differently, and it levels the playing field because they're a fraction of what AAA games cost. We have indie developers that are charging $5, $10, $15, $20, sometimes $30 for their game. While these AAA developers decide, hey, you know what? Let's move it from $60 to $70. And let's go ahead and make our DLC. I'm not going to get started on DLC. I'm not going to get started on DLC today. But if I want to get the deluxe version, I can spend $100 on that game. 5 of the really popular indie games right now I could purchase for the price of one deluxe AAA game. That is going to definitely help with, especially with inflation nowadays, the way the economy is and whatnot. And all the things that you can do in these games, lots of activity, things that keep you busy and whatnot. That is making the popularity of these indie games unmatched. They're putting a dent in AAA games now. And there are a lot more indie developers every year because they see the success of Stardew Valley. They see the rags to riches story of Minecraft. They see the rise of a juggernaut that's called Roblox. These are all games that started out as a concept in somebody's kitchen or somebody's living room or in their dining area. These are concepts and dreams that showed up somewhere from one person. And that has a different type of spirit than when you think of cold corporate America or cold corporate anywhere that develops the games sheerly for profit. Screw them. They'll buy it anyway. let's go ahead and jack the price up to $120. People will pay for it. Absolutely. There was talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 when that comes out. There was a quick modicum conversation of why don't we charge per hour for this game? What?
Oh my God.
They had a conversation about paying per hour for games. Why am I doing that? No, thanks. I'll stick with my $20 indie game that's given me thousands of hours of playtime. That is why I believe they are becoming more popular than AAA games.
I can agree with that. And my take on it, I think indie games, they give you more freedom. Like a lot of your AAA games, you're locked to like a linear style playing. Like, yeah, you get like Call of Duty with like a massive multiplayer that's like constantly growing. But as far as like the fun factors of like, like how we talked about Minecraft and Roblox where you can just do so much. AAA games like, that are $70, $80, they lack so much freedom to just have fun. Agreed. And people are wanting to play games and have fun. So they're migrating more towards the games that allow them to do what they want to do.
It's like value.
Yeah. Like Repo. I mean, it's you can goof off and do the dumbest things and have fun with it. And it's a $10 game. Like, I can't have that type of fun playing Call of Duty or Halo or stuff like that. I mean, I'll admit that all day long.
Yeah, that's really good points. I think my answer to this would probably be, it's a trifecta for me. 3 different things going on, which you guys have all stated kind of in what you had to offer to this question, is the price, the love that's put into the game. Because as I've stated before, I think it's really hard to have over 100 different people working on a game to make that love come through for that game, that person, their heart, blood, sweat, and tears that went into it compared to a single developer. I don't think there's even a comparison to that, right? And then it's different, The indie scene has the ability and most likely the funds to do something different. You got all these other games, these first-person shooters, like the Call of Duties and all this, that they continuously, what do? They keep doing the same thing over and over and over. They come out with the same shooter, maybe a couple little added effects, a couple little added, like now you got mini missions you can do. Now you got this cool skin you could put on your car, whatever the case may be, right? This new zombie campaign you can run through, but it just feels like the same thing over and over. And they do it on purpose because what's more, the best way to put this, the best thing for a corporation to do is to do what they know has worked, to do what they know has always gained them money. And so they don't deviate. They don't innovate. They just continue forward.
They go back to the well.
Yep. And so by doing that, now you got people. And the problem is, like, as Matt's point is, like, they seem so money hungry and greed driven that they don't even care about the player anymore. But as you've said before, without the player, they're nothing. Like, you're not going to be able to do all the things and create the next Call of Duty, create the next, battle royale, whatever it may be for Epic. It's just as you also put, you could buy, 5 of the best indie games out there for the price of a deluxe, and you get so much more value. Like, you play literally if you really wanted to, for years on end, just playing those games, then you will playing a Call of Duty title and getting pissed off because you got 10 hackers just destroying lobbies left and right because the developers don't care enough to make sure that they put better anti-cheats in their game. They'd rather just collect the money and, the game's fine. The game's fine. We patched that, whatever the case may be. But I really do think it's a matter of, it's a trifecta, the price, the love, and the difference. Because if there's anything we need more of is a difference in variety for gaming in general. And I think indies are doing a very good job of that.
100%. I remember, I would say 15 years ago, you heard indie games, you're like, no. They've come such a long way to the point where they're sticking it to these bigger companies. Of course, they're not budging. They're like, we're just going to increase our prices. They're increasing the prices because their sales are going down because people are buying the indie games. Indie games are staying. The most expensive indie game I can think of right now is No Man's Sky at $60. But
yeah,
that's worth every penny. And like I said, you can get it. You can get these games at discounted rates. But I'll tell you right now, you're getting quality. You're getting a company, an indie developer that is putting we've said it a million times, this this podcast, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Their soul is going into these games. These are gamers that are making these games. And that's what makes them different. You know, this isn't a corporate bigwig saying, let's make this game. This isn't Todd Howard saying, oh, I've always dreamed about making a space game. We already have that with No Man's Sky, and you're not going to outdo that. But yeah, my point being, though, is that this is by the fans for the fans. And I don't really feel that way when I think of a double or triple A game.
Yeah, I don't think you can really, like I said, with the love and passion behind the game. Like I've stated before, not to say that people that work on these AAA titles don't have love and passion for their job and what they do, and not saying that they aren't proud. They can't be proud of what they put into it when they see their name in the credits of a game. But that, like I said, over 100 people, like, when GTA 6 comes out, it's 6, right? Yeah, I think it's,
yes.
Yeah, GTA 6, with that one coming out, and how many hundreds of people have worked on it, do you really think the same amount of love and passion going into the game will compare to an indie? I don't think so. Now, that's my personal opinion, but I don't think so.
So, I think, like you said, it's like with every game, there's people that like making games that make them, but it's just so many people. Like, those games are going to have their, like, wow factors, but it's, like Maz said, it's all corporate behind it. It's there. Like the new Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 3, the story mode, graphics are beautiful. The gameplay was fun, but it's like they cut the story off short, and it's like as soon as that happened, it's like, yeah, y'all just trying to make money for a next one. And like it just loses its retention and fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, didn't they cut the story out, the campaign out of one of them entirely? I thought.
No, the 3 new Modern Warfares have story campaigns in them, but the third one, like, it ends on a big cliffhanger, like where it should have kept going, and they just cut it off there because they're going to literally make another game.
Gotcha. Well, all right then. No, good stuff, guys. Thank you so much, Jiboyd, for your question. I appreciate it. We appreciate you, and no, that was a good one. Looking forward to some more from you guys. If you want to, go ahead and email us at indiehangoutcast@gmail.com. But I think that about wraps it up. What do you guys think?
Yes, sir.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Be sure to catch in with us next week on Thursday. We'll have a new episode up for you, and we look forward to hearing back from you guys on the next polls and the next questions. All right, take it easy.